One time, in a field of ready wheat, the plow took the tails off a line of cats, mother followed by 4 kids, unseeable in the moving ocean of gold. Another, a tractor tipped over the lip of a rise created by spring flood, the farmer's organs crushed to the beyond. No one could detect that lip, a late harvest crop so thick its surface hid the underneath. But you'd seen it all. Things like that happened on the farm. So you milked cows before dawn and tied my uncle to a tree. It was possible for a 2-year-old to drown in the dark waters of the coulee, and he was a wanderer, that one. A rope around an ankle you knew could save you from yourself. You fed everyone breakfast, dinner, supper, and somewhere in there coffee and pie, and as you asked if they'd like more, you were already slapping the next pile of mashed potatoes on their plate. Giving. You were always giving. On yours? Not much. Always one reasonable serving. One Sunday the year before you died, you smoothed your polyester print dress over your tiny hips, the crown of your white head soft at my chin. I do, don't I? You said shyly, when I closed my hand over your shoulder and said you looked so good. 92. What can I hope but that the road sometimes eases, the path sometimes clears? When they carried my grandfather in, you made a place for him. On the dining room table? On the couch in the living room? Did the men at Halcrow's Gas across the street bring in a makeshift platform for you to cover with fabric? He still would have been warm, movable, almost alive, and yet not. Was there a streak of burn on his chest? The mark of lightning, something you could wash off with warm water and a cloth? Things like that happened on a farm. Especially to you, though you never said so. You still had 3 children, a dog, billy goat, crow, and an almost grown pig that the boys would somehow have to give over to the butcher for you all to be fed. Endings, invited or not, hugging the horizon. For a while you grew mean. Even with Sundays in the tiny clapboard church, plain bronze cross on the cloth-draped altar, even with a freezer filled with coffee tins of cookies and bars ready for unending drop-by women, the sweat-hard work of an acre to mow. Even with 3 children quickly up and through college and then 1 extra, left on your back stoop by the grief-crippled wife of your brother, dropped dead at 40. Endings, endings, always endings. Graduated as well, even with the farm running and the Red River flooding on schedule so the soil was rich rather than washed away. Even then they whispered, she was hard on him. And you stood rigid, in the light of all you didn't understand, and angry, I suppose, at what they didn't either. Pictures from that time show you before you blended snowy white, tan, and pink. Your lines are fierce, a sharpness that doesn't dissipate with the fading colors of the photo, or the softening edges of small-town blame. Your barn had kittens in the hayloft, the plow turned up buffalo teeth and arrowheads. In your stalls, the postman kept ponies we could ride like Indians through the fields because you'd asked. And there was always bingo, a cookie, cold beaded glasses of lemonade on the screen porch, mashed potato dinners that never ended. With you, I was alive. But when I hung upside down from the top bunk to scare my sister through the rungs of the ladder, when I did that and fell on my head and cried, lucky I didn't break my neck, you came in and spanked me, and I was betrayed by your anger. I did not yet understand the terror of loss. In the late season of your life, you recaptured your sense of humor. strokes that left you saying goose instead of robin. Macular degeneration that let you in the world from only the outer corner of your eyes. A digestive system that meant if you weren't near enough the toilet, my mother, your son's wife, might find herself gagging on her knees in a restaurant bathroom floor. All this you bore. You had to leave your farmhouse, the attic still echoing with the sounds of your dead brother's footsteps, for a low building full of old people. But you chose that. And you took the blind grandmothers in wheelchairs to dinner. And you sat each day in the room with the others who couldn't see to listen to the news and the farm report on the radio. You were funny again. You liked to laugh. A laugh that was much wrinkled like your face. And you took my hand in yours and patted it each time we were together, as if it were a treasure. Don't forget to mow, you whispered at my wedding. You, only able to see the outer reaches of my hair, squinting up at my face, my hands between yours. Don't forget, you said, because you saw something familiar, a future of disappointment and judgment and grief amidst your hope for enormous love and laughter. Don't forget to mow, you counseled. A wanderer, that one. The rope around my ankle, a possible solution for life. And yet here I am despite it all. The same number of years later, jealous that you got lightning. You'd had a fight and he'd gone off into the approaching storm. Over. No long nights of twisting sheets in your hands, uttering words that never arrived at a place of rest. No therapy where there was no chance. No false promises of hope. A summer storm, a strike of energy, a quick and final solution. No one to blame. Though what a thing to say. I take my rosary and drape it over my eyes. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I take my fingers and blur them across my face and chest. But still I whisper. But still, life decided for you what you could never have decided for yourself. What no one should have to, but sometimes must. When lightning struck, the faces at your table did not change. They remained pointed in the direction of the crackle of chicken on the stove, the moving spoon filled with white potatoes. They did not change, there simply was one less. And though the faces grew long from loss, they were there, day in and day out, awaiting your touch. Not like now, where the end is a decision that sends those beloved faces back and forth across town. Your table one day full, one day empty. 2 closets, 2 sets of cats, 2 hearts breaking. The innocent slam of a car door transformed to the sound of beginning, or end. Of all the things to ask, I wonder most, was there field dust in the lines of his face? Did tiny kernels of turning gold fall from the cuffs of his pants as you straightened and arranged him? Were they the very kernels that before this moment brought you to dusk? Made you press your fingers to your brow? The floor I washed for you on my knees. The bedding I forced through the wringer, our home, my life's work, repeated day after day. Please, please brush yourself off and see the cause of my labor, my pain. Please do this for me. So tired of sweeping them each day from the kitchen floor, the carpet on the stairs, her clean pressed sheets. Did you take one, this symbol of living and unchangeable strife, and put it in your small white box of paste glass and fake gold? Did it shine bright against the velvet, or was it still, even then, just another piece of costume? Won't you tell me? Come back, I call, as I imagine you holding my hand and loving the peripheries of my face. Please tie me to a tree. make the knot fast around my ankle, thick, itchy scratch of rope tight against my skin. Stop me, I ask you, because it is the coulee I am in danger of, the dark water of mistake, drowning rather than salvation, tangled roots and snappers, a place from which no one ever returns.